Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Ghost Layers Report. Here's always Ryan coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Okay, so we have to report it officially. Prime Minister Noda of the Japanese ruling party, the Democratic Party of Japan, has approved, gave the order to restart the reactor number 3 and 4 with the Oi reactors in Fukui Prefecture. Alright, so here we are. They've done this on the weekend. They announced they were planning to do this earlier in the week. Here it's happened. Okay, now let's look at a few things that have been said. Mr. Yukio Idano of the METI, who controls the nuclear energy policy here in Japan, did say this, and it's very telling with all this big decision here. He said, "There is no such thing as a perfect score when it comes to disaster prevention steps." He was, of course, commenting on safety of nuclear power plants. Well, he's absolutely right about that. But he's using that to justify any criticism. And he is saying, well, nobody's perfect. We're dealing with nuclear energy here, sir. So you have to be perfect. And we've seen time and time again that's not really possible. But he goes further. He says, but based on what we learned from the Fukushima incident, those measures that need to be taken urgently have been addressed. And the level of safety has been considerably enhanced at the Oi plant. Alright, now we've went over this before with Mr. Yukio Idano. They did have some hastily done reforms in nuclear safety. And we do know the two key issues have not been addressed. They keep saying they've went to the Oi reactors, they've inspected them, and it was Noda who said, and Idano who said earlier, that the Oi reactors, more or less, have passed the new safety standards. And as I've reported to you before, the safety events that are necessary to prevent any core from overheating, especially if safety measures fail, are not installed at the Oi reactor. And the control center, which the new safety standards say must not be on ground level of the plant, are still on ground level. But you've learned from the Fukushima incident, and you have addressed the issue that urgently need to be addressed. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, the Reuters makes an interesting analysis here. They say this push to restart the reactors kind of underscores something else going on here in Japan, which I believe I have reported on or at least mentioned before. It's the businesses here in Japan worrying about a higher electricity cost that could force them to take their factories overseas. Wait a minute. Now, they say that the ruling party is trying to win backing from these businesses because of this threat. And we've heard this threat before, and they still have not done it. If they really were going to go through this, they wouldn't do it for energy reasons. They'd do it because, simply put, Japan does not have almost any control of the world's rare earths supply. That's overwhelmingly controlled by China, which is, I believe China is up to 98% control of all the world's rare earths. And rare earths, metals, are essential to a lot of factories in Japan, especially Japan's very huge and very profitable superconductor business, as well as electronics and different things like that. If some of these big factories are going to move their operations overseas, it would be due to supply, not energy. So the real thing is here that TEPCO would have to actually make these guys pay their fair share, because they get huge discounts on their energy usage. They don't want to do that. They'd rather have us, the common people, pay it because of that price increase that TEPCO is planning to do. It's delayed right now, and I suspect that probably will stay delayed until the end of the summer to avoid any more public outcry. But, that's not really, a reason to win backing. It's just a public threat that these businesses can say for the public to hear. But when you look at the economics of it, it's not really the reason why he needs to win their backing. But what's more telling is all this past week, there's been protests in Tokyo daily, everywhere. It's been really intense here in the city this week. Even, it says here, Friday, there were well over 10,000 protesters outside the Prime Minister's mansion with a lot of police there. It was a pretty intense scene, to say the least. Shouting slogans, as it reports here. Lives matter more than the economy. We can't stress that enough. So you have, thousands of people in the street screaming and shouting at the government, saying, listen to us. We are the people. Don't restart these reactors. And the government has not listened at all to the people. And that's a lot of what the Japanese media is not reporting to. It does seem clear that the foreign media has routinely been scooping the Japanese media. And of course, we here in the independent media, the alternative media, we've been scooping everybody. Because, we've been speaking the raw truth to people. And I'll get to what the difference here between what you see in the foreign media and what you'll see in Japanese media just in a moment. We want to get a few more things out of the way here. Now, Jeffrey Kingston has been quoted. He's a director at the Asian Studies at Temple University in Japan's campus. Yeah, Temple has had this university here for a long time as a branch. He's quoted as saying something very interesting. He says, I imagine there will be a fair number of reactor restarts by next year. The government under Noda is surprisingly eager. Well, I could have told you that, Mr. Kingston. But it's good that someone coming from the academic world is pointing that out. All right. A few more things here. There's been over 7.5 million signatures were presented to the government to end atomic power, and that has not been paid attention to. So time and time again, we see that unfortunately the Japanese government is simply not listening to the people at all. It's a routine record. The bureaucracy is almost operating independently of the people. The ruling parties are operating independently of the people. It's a total breaking of the social contract that every nation which has a government has of its own people. It's a violation of that. But you won't hear any media mention that except in the alternative media. Hopefully more people mention that. But despite all this, it gets even more intriguing here. We do have a new atomic regulatory agency, which hopefully will not be hijacked by the nuclear industry, but remains to be seen. It's not even up and running yet. It's going to take several months for that. So all this is happening under the current system without any reform happening, without any real change happening. They want what they want, and they're going to get it. You know, the government and the bureaucracy and the power elite will get what they want first, and then they want to negotiate with the people after that. That's pretty clear here as well. Now, to finish up, we do want to compare the what you're seeing here with the foreign media and alternative media and what you're getting from the mainstream media in Japan. The only real quote that's come out from Noda. Here's what he has said basically to the people of Japan, and here's the information the people of Japan are getting. He says, "As we have gained the prefecture government's consent, we have decided to restart the oil plant reactors. This is the government's final decision on the matter." That's it. He's saying the bureaucracy has spoken. We have everything we need here. So we have your consent. When you have thousands upon thousands of people in the streets in Tokyo screaming at you, telling you to do the exact opposite of what you're about to do, it does not appear to me that you have the people's consent. But that's what the people of Japan are told through their own media. And you see what the mainstream media and the rest of the world reports. And you see how us in the alternative media reports it and interprets it for you. So, as I'm sure this weekend, Mr. Noda is relaxing in his mansion as thousands of people are on the street screaming at him, having some fine wine, and I'm sure some rather attractive party favors. So, Prime Minister Noda, you know what? I'll have a drink of wine with you. Sure. Let's have a drink of wine together. I'm enjoying a nice bottle of Merlot from Chile. Although I'm sure, Mr. Noda, your bottle of wine is far more elegant and expensive than the humble bottle I'm enjoying here. But I'll have a drink of wine with you. Sure, why not? I love my Merlot. But the reason I'm having a glass of wine with you is not because I'm ecstatic. It's not because I'm celebrating in the same manner you are, but what you have done, Mr. Noda, you've just now made the situation hostile. That's right. You've made the situation hostile. You're leaving the people of Japan, myself included actually, because I am a part of Japan. You're leaving us a few options here. We're trying to go through the system. We're trying to go through the way things are supposed to be set up. But you're not listening. You won't work with us. You won't listen to the people of Japan. So you keep doing the exact opposite of what the people are screaming at you literally in the streets to do. So, congratulations. Let's make it one better. Pardon me. You made the situation hostile. Let's enjoy another glass of wine together. Shall we, Mr. Noda? Yeah. You're leaving us, the people of Japan, a few options here. You're creating a hostile environment. So, the government of Japan should really not be surprised when the people get hostile, because you're being hostile. And I'm assuming this battle between the people of Japan and the government will continue. and it's only going to intensify. Congratulations, Japanese government. Congratulations, Mr. Noda. You've just taken things to the next level. So, as always, it's me here, Ryan, here in Tokyo, Japan. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And to Mr. Noda, we salute you.